This is going to be the first in a series of videos about how to add events to events.louisville.edu, the university's event calendar. This video covers how to add a single event to the calendar. To start with, you'll need to go to the website, which is louisville.edu/events. When you get to the website, you'll want to look on the right side and you'll see a gray button with Submit an Event on it. Click that and it's going to take you to a login. If you are a university employee or student, you can use your university ID and password to log into the system. Once you log in, you'll see the Submit an Event form. We're going to cover this from top to bottom on how to add the event, description, location, photos, and other information that's required. The first thing that you need to do is put the name of your event. In this case, we're just going to call this a test event. For the description, you need to think about how you're marketing your event, and it needs to be a complete description that might entice someone to want to come to your event. So you would want to include details about your speaker, what they're going to talk about, if there's going to be free food, any other relevant information that might draw someone to your event. For the sake of the video, I'm just going to put test event in the description field. Start date, you can put in the date in any format that you would like. So you can put in the date and month, and you'll notice that when we did that, it automatically formatted the event date into the format that the calendar wants. You can also put it in by numbers if you prefer. Start time works similarly. If you put in 6 p.m., it's automatically going to change it to 6 p.m. End time, you do not have to put an end time in. You can if you want. Recurring, since this is a single event, we're going to select never. Event place. If you are adding an event that is on campus, all of the buildings on campus have already been selected. So if you wanted to add an event at the Red Barn, you'll see that when I start to type in Red Barn, it auto-populates the field. What you'll want to do is just select George J. Howe Red Barn. What this does is on your final event, it links it to a Google map so that people can see a map of how to get to the location. When you get to an event website, if you have another website that has more information about your event, you can simply type that in. If you have a Facebook event page that you've created to try to garner some more interest in your event, you can also directly link your Facebook event page website in. Event photo. There are 3 different ways that you can add a photo to your event. If you do not have a photo at all, your event is going to show up with this gray cardinal bird, and that's perfectly acceptable to use on the event page. The second option that you have is that when you selected a place for your event, in this case we selected the Red Barn, if we do nothing, our event is going to show up with a photo of the Red Barn on it, and I'll show you an example. You can see they did the Red Barn birthday party. This is the photo that we've selected of the Red Barn to auto-populate within the calendar. In the case of adding a photo, horizontal photos work best. You'll see we're going to add a Get Healthy Now photo to our event. So you just click Edit Photo, Upload Photo, and then I have saved my photo on the desktop. When you add your photo, you can change the size slightly. It always needs to be this ratio though. It's the only ratio that the system will accept. So you can see I can make my photo smaller or back to full size. The next part that we get to on the calendar is filtering, and this is how we feed information to other calendars who use widgets within our system. We have certain types of categories that are used, so you need to select as many as you feel are relevant to your event. So in our case, we're going to select arts. We will also select a social event and training and development. Department, you can select as many departments as sponsors as you would like. You just need to click on them and you'll see that they show up. They can also be from different schools, different vice president offices. Audience is an important filter to think about. We have 4 different categories for audience: alumni, faculty, staff, public, and students. In general, when we think about public, we think that applies to everyone. In the case of the calendar, though, in the filtering system that we use, public is really just for public who are not students, faculty, staff, or alumni. So if you are having an event that truly is open to the public and open to all of those categories, you need to select all 4 audiences. This is so that also if a student is browsing the calendar and is just looking at student events, that your event would also show up in the events that are open to students. The groups are also available in the calendar. These are mainly RSOs and committees at the university. The way that the system is selected, you can select or set up, you can select one category or one group to be a sponsor of the event. If you have more student groups who are sponsors of the event, it's recommended that you also put their name in the description box at the top. That way they can also be found in the search box that way. Going back down here, if you have a ticket cost for your event, just type it in. If you are using any type of ticket registration or an email address that someone needs to email to register for the event, you can put it right here. You can also do that. This will also allow you to put in free events that require registration. If you have a free event that requires registration and the ticket cost, leave it blank and put your registration link here. What that will do is when the event is posted, it will add a register event to, or register for this event button to the event. The following information is required: contact name, phone number, and email address. This is in case anyone who's viewing your event has questions or needs additional information. That way they can contact the person who's in charge of the event. The last box is note to the editor. This is in case there's any other situation with your event that you need us to be aware of. If you have questions about if your photo worked for the event or anything else, that the editor can communicate directly with you. When you're finished, all you need to do is click Add Event. Once it's saved, you'll get a notice that says that your event is waiting administrative approval. What that means is that it's just waiting for the Office of Communications and Marketing to approve your event. The turnaround time is less than 24 hours for that to happen.